Good morning, children, and welcome once again to this part of the video class for class 5, subject science. Now, children, we have already started with the revision, and so far we have completed revision of three chapters, that is, chapter 1, chapter 3, and chapter 4. Now we are going to proceed further with the revision of chapter 5, that is plant reproduction or reproduction in plants. Now in the previous video class, that is chapter 4, we had seen about the pollination. Now in this chapter we are going to proceed with the next topic, that is first fertilization. But before that you need to understand what is reproduction. We had already talked about during the teaching time that reproduction is a process in which a living thing produces more of its own kind. When I say more of its own kind, that means a dog or a bitch will give birth to a puppy, not to an elephant. Similarly, an elephant will give birth to a young elephant, not something else. That is the meaning of its own kind. So that is what is meant by reproduction. Now in most of the flowers, reproduction is sexual. That means the male gamete fuses with the female gamete. Now after pollination, what happens? After pollination, it is followed by fertilization. Now what happens during fertilization? That is very important to know that. Now when the pollen grains are brought, or it is brought to the stigma, the pollen grains starts growing or germinating, and it forms a pollen tube. Now this pollen tube carries the male gametes, that means the pollen grains within which the male gametes are present, and then it enters the ovary and then to the ovules, where it fuses to form a new cell, that is called fertilized cell, which is known as zygote. And this fusion of the male gamete with the female gamete is called fertilization. And here I just listed here the nutshell that what is reproduction? The process through which living things produces more of its own kind. Then actually what happens? The male gamete enters the ovule and fuses with the female gamete to form a fertilized cell called zygote. And this fusion of the male gamete with the female gamete is known as fertilization. Now after fertilization, what happens? After fertilization, most of the or all the parts of the flowers, they fall off one by one except the ovary. The ovary develops and changes into the fruit, and the ovules changes into the seeds. This is the formation of the fruit. And now each seed is again capable of germinating into a new seeds. And of course the seed, it has the structure of the seed was already discussed. Once again you can see that in your book on page number 45, the structure of the seed is given. Okay, so this is a structure of a dicotyledonous seed. The outer covering it is not marked here. It is the seed coat. The outer covering is the seed coat. A seed also has got a small hole through which the water enters. Now the two parts that you see, they are actually called the cotyledons. They are also known as the seed leaves. Now the seed leaves or the cotyledons, they provide food to the baby plant during its growth. So it is the storehouse of the food till the baby plant grows its own leaf and is able to manufacture its own food. Now some seeds have two seed leaves. Now the two seed leaves, that means two cotyledons. The examples are bean, pea, mangoes. These seeds have got two cotyledons or two seed leaves. Similarly, there are seeds with only one cotyledon. They are known as monocotyledonous seed. Examples are maize, rice, wheat, etc. So this is about the structure of the seed. Though we have already done it, but it is just a time to recapitulate once again. Now, what happens if all the seeds will grow in one place? If all the seeds grow in one place, they would be competing, or you can rather say that they would be fighting for survival, because the amount of sunlight will be the same. So their very survival would be threatened. So enable them to survive, they need to be scattered or they need to be dispersed. So, so what is meant by dispersal of seed? It is the process of, so I am just summing it up again once again, the process of scattering. You can say scattering, or you can also say spreading, scattering or spreading of seeds away from the mother plant, away from the mother plant, away from the mother plant by agents of nature, by agents of nature. Now what are these agents of nature? The agents of nature are wind, then water, wind, water, it can be animals also, animals, and of course there is one more process involved there, that is explosion, explosion, through which the seeds can get dispersed. Now all these seeds have got special structures. The seeds which are dispersed by the wind, they are generally light, and they have got also hair-like structures to enable them to say float in the air, and when they get the necessary condition, when they fall on the ground and get necessary condition, they can germinate into new plants. Now the seeds which are dispersed by wind. Now which are the seeds dispersed by the wind? Simple example is cotton, madar, heptage. These are some of the seeds that are dandelion, maple. These are the seeds that get dispersed by wind. Now there are some seeds which are dispersed by water. Best example. So such seeds have got fruits. You can say that they have got air trapped in it, so that they can easily float. For example, coconut. So coconut, generally you find them growing by the river side. So when they fall off, they can flow with the water, and if again they come to the ground and get the necessary condition, they can also germinate into new plant. So lotus and coconut are best examples of seed dispersed by water. We have got animals also. The seeds which are dispersed by the animals generally are nuts. There are some seeds called spear grass also. So these seeds get dispersed by animals. What is explosion? It's a natural process. Some seeds, when they become ripe, they burst open, and then they can get scattered. And when again they get favorable condition, they can germinate into new plants. So all these are agents of dispersal. We have got wind, water, animals, and explosions are the different agents by which the seeds get dispersed. Now children, you see that most of the plants, they reproduce from the seeds. However, there are few plants that reproduces from other parts of the plant, and these other parts are stem, then we have got leaves and the roots, and this is called vegetative reproduction. So if I have to define vegetative reproduction, I would say, or it is said that the process by which a plant reproduces from its vegetative parts, that is the root, stem or the leaves, is called vegetative reproduction. Now let us see which plants they reproduce from the stem first. So here is I have taken an example. The examples of reproduction, vegetative reproduction by stem are potato, ginger, onion, sugarcane, rose. Now these you can say that these plants you have seen in your locality also. The rose. many of you must be interested in gardening. So when the season is off, the rose stems are cut, and if it is planted, it can again grow into a new plant giving flowers. So that is a vegetative way of reproduction through the stems. Now this potato, the underground stem of potato is called a tuber. The underground stem of this is called this underground stem of potato is called tuber, and similarly the underground stem of onion and garlic is called a bulb. Now why it is called bulb? It is a shape of the bulb. So a bulb is a swollen structure that contains the stored food. So that is the bulb, that structure we see in onion and garlic. Then we have got vegetative reproduction by roots. Example, carrot, sweet potato, turnip. These plants, they can germinate from the roots. They can again grow from the roots, and similarly it can give fruits later on. Now vegetative reproduction by leaves. However, it sounds very unusual, but there are some plants like bryophyllum. From the side of the leaves, they have got buds, and when they fall off, these leaves fall off to the ground, they can germinate into a new bryophyllum plant. So this is about the vegetative reproduction in plants. Now with this, I think the revision of chapter 5 is also done. So along with this, again I am going to send you a short revision assignment which needs to be done, and it has to be learnt also. Just writing may not be enough. You need to learn it. I hope you have enjoyed this class, understood this lesson, and till now keep safe, and thank you.